Welcome to the Hard Truth Podcast. This is Jeremy Fouts, and we have a special guest with us today. We are going to be talking about nutrition, the importance of protein, staying hydrated, working out, mental mindset. The guest we have on today was a college baseball player at Reinhardt University in Georgia. He's also creator and owner of At Bat Flip Bombs, over 700,000 followers. And then he also is a personal trainer, and he has a personal training page at Parker Doyle 25. Both of these are on Instagram, over 28,000 followers. And today, guys, I'm excited for you to be a part of the Hard Truth Podcast. As always, we only share the truth of what you need to do in order to have success in life. And this young man has definitely got it figured out. And Parker Doyle, it's exciting to have you on the Hard Truth Podcast. And I gave a little bit of background about your career and what you created and done, but go in detail a little bit more about you and your family and being there in Georgia, and talk me out why you started Bat Flip Bombs, why you are so passionate about nutrition, and your career as a college baseball player and what baseball means to you.
Let's go! What up?
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me on. I'm super excited about this opportunity. It's just really, I'm just really pumped about it. So I grew up in a Christian family. Both my grandparents are actually pastors, and I have been obsessed with baseball ever since I could walk. That's just the way my family has been raising me, and I've just had a massive passion for it. So I started Bat Flip Bombs actually going into my ninth grade year into my baseball season. And I really just started because it was something I enjoyed doing. I had no purpose of, or no really thought of trying to build it to where I can monetize from it or do really cool things that I'm doing right now with it. But I was really just had a passion for the game. So I just loved posting content and really getting people to learn more about the game, because I thought there was a massive lack of knowledge within the game in this generation that the older generations definitely didn't deal with. They really knew the game inside and out. And today, like, a lot of these younger generations just really don't know the game that well at all. So nutrition. So I started really focusing on my body. I wish I did it more when I was playing the game, but I really started like a year ago during my last season, which was at Reinhardt. And it really changed my life. The importance of nutrition, like literally within a couple weeks of me locking in on nutrition, I could see my body absolutely transform. And not only that, it helped me mentally in so many areas. My confidence skyrocketed. It was just really cool to see all of the amazing things. My life kind of snowballed into all of these positive effects. It was a really cool experience to see. And then, I've just continued that journey, and then it's really helped me level up in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, I know we got a lot of young followers that's listening, Parker, and what you said is big. You wish you would have started earlier. I've got two boys, one pursuing a baseball college career. He's going to be a junior, one that's going into his freshman year, big lacrosse, football, and baseball player. And I tell them over and over, the quicker you learn how to sleep right, nutrition, workouts, the more advantage you're going to have over every athlete. And so many times I think the younger generation, they don't understand that, and they regret it later on if they don't start earlier. So what's some of the things that you would maybe let our young audience know to really get them excited about nutrition and performing at a high level from your workout standpoint?
Yeah, so not only if you're an athlete, but there's so many benefits of just leveling yourself up above just everyone when you lock in your nutrition.
Yeah.
I mean, everything in you're way more productive in anything you want to pursue. Your brain is just way more locked in. You start waking up and feeling way better on less sleep. So there's unlimited benefits. It's really the root of all your success, I believe.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
like if you lock that in, it kind of unlocks everything else
Yep.
to just pursue whatever your dreams are. I mean,
Well,
it's just, it's
yeah,
awesome.
and you talked about confidence, and confidence as a college baseball player going up to the
Massive.
plate is big. but
It's
also as a 48-year-old man like myself owning a business, confidence is huge. I mean, you said it correctly. I mean, it helps you on all areas of your life. I mean, the minute someone walks in a room, if they are a fit individual, they speak different, they talk different, they grab everyone's attention. I
respect
know
without
one of
saying anything.
Yeah, exactly. And I know one of the things that I talk to my boys about, and especially this younger generation, is the importance of protein. How would you put protein as a high priority when you're talking to young athletes?
So when I first started, now I definitely overdid it, but I was just trying to see what the results were if I overdid it. And I mean, they were honestly amazing. Like I started every single meal I ate, it was just some form of crazy high compound protein. It was like every snack I would go in between practices or games and just make sure I get like 2 or 3 protein bars, a protein drink, whatever. And once I started locking on a protein, it was like my weight was staying the same. My weight was maintaining. However, my body was doing this crazy recomp
Yes.
that my muscle tone started going through the roof. I started losing body fat, and yeah, I mean it was crazy because it was within a couple weeks. It wasn't even like this massive timeline. It was very quick the results I saw, and it was because I went from eating pop tarts every morning to actually eating real food. And once you start eating real food, it's just the benefits are ridiculous. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, I weigh 195 now, Parker, and I've looked at pictures of me 10 years ago of me weighing 195, and you're totally right. I have a total different body. I mean, transformation is huge, and that's something I tell my boys over and over. You know, I always tell them at least 1 gram of protein per how much ever you weigh, but I'm a big component. If you can get that up to 1.2, 1.5, the higher you can push that number. And one of the things that I personally do as well is I do not eat anything on my plate until my protein is gone.
That's a
I
very that's a very good point. I
Yeah.
love that. So I've started doing that recently. It's because your body like absorbs that protein, and if you kind of like wait till after you like consume, like if you're eating carbs or whatever you eat, I feel like it doesn't have that same effect at all.
No,
It's
it
it's
don't
a
have
much
the same
different
effect.
effect.
No, and it not only does it have the not have the same effect, if I have a sweet potato and some broccoli or whatever it is else on my plate, if I eat that first or in combination with my protein, a lot of times I have to force getting that last protein in me.
Hmm.
So something I follow and I try to teach my athletes I work with is eat your protein first. And then if you don't have enough desire to have that last protein or that last bite of sweet potato or broccoli, you're going to see so much more benefits from getting the protein first.
You're gonna see crazy results. It's yeah. I
Yes.
mean, this morning, for example, I just had like 8 eggs and then some lean turkey bacon, and that was it. And
Yeah.
I feel great right now. So
Yes. Yeah. I try to limit my carbs also in the morning. Before I go to the gym, I do 5 to 6 eggs, and then I also do a protein shake, and then that's it. And then I go to the gym, I come back, I do a protein shake. And then depending on my workout and what I'm doing, I'll put some little bit of carbs in, but I'm 100% agreeing upon that. Now, I know you're also a big believer in hydrate. You actually are using Corvive's hydrate now.
yes, sir.
How important is staying hydrated, not only from a baseball player's perspective, but also just going through life and having a good quality of life?
It is massive. So I've noticed a big difference ever since I started hydrating my body the right way. It went back to last year. I would always up until this point until last year when I was playing baseball, I would always get these crazy cramps in games, whether that's like at the plate on deck in the state playoffs. It was funny story. I was in the state playoffs, Final Four. I got like 10,000 fans of like from my high school just right there,
Yeah.
and I cannot go up to the plate because my fingers are cramping. Like I literally can't. So I had to get my personal trainer walk up and squirt mustard packets in my mouth right before I went up to bat. So yeah, hydration's massive. But when I was cramping like that, it was because I was drinking a lot of water, but I didn't understand how important the electrolytes were.
Hmm.
So everybody just kept saying, drink more water, drink more water, drink more water. I was drinking a ton of water. And
Yes.
it was honestly making me like almost cramp more because I was lacking those essential electrolytes.
Right.
So once I started figuring out that these electrolytes are just crucial, and they started making me feel so much better. I would go in between practices, in between games, and just absolutely consume like 2 or 3 massive electrolyte bottles, which that might be a little bit too much, but I would feel 10 times better to compete at whatever level that I was competing at. It was a really cool thing. And I don't know if I was supposed to do this, but this morning I had the Core Vive energy packet and I
Yep.
mixed it with the hydrate packet. So I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not, but that was awesome.
Absolutely. I do it every day, and I'm excited you are using the Core Beef Hydrate. It's definitely NSF certified for sport, which is, brings that level of credibility. MLB requires you have that certification in order to be able to use that. And I think you can find and order that through your page also at Parker Doyle 25 or
Sir.
Batflip Bombs as well. So I want you to kind of visit with me a little bit in the audience about working out, and not just working out, Parker. Here's what I see, whether it be a young athlete or someone my age, is they want their body to transform. They want to be the best out there, but they have no plan, no schedule, and they go to the gym, maybe do a few curls for girls, maybe walk around. I mean, when I walk in the gym, I have an app that tells me exactly my workout, and I can look around the gym literally, and I can point out the people that have no plan. They'll watch me do a few things. They'll go come over and do that, and then they'll walk over here and do a few things, and then they look around the gym. So I don't want you to just tell us about the importance of working out. We all know that, but how important is it to work out with a plan and to push yourself?
So that's a really good point. So I have 3 principles when it comes to trying to level up in every area of my life, and that is discipline, consistency, and then education. Education, in my opinion, unlocks those two, so you're going to be able to push yourself and maximize your success. So my biggest tip would to be get educated on your what workouts you should be doing, whether that's you have a friend who's in fitness or whatever, go to the gym with him, see if he can help you in that area. And then that's going to level up everything in your life way quicker. And you're going to be able to understand, you're going to be using the right machines, you're going to be you're going to be working out the right muscle groups. And then from there, it's all about just pushing yourself to failure in whatever you're trying to grow. So
Yeah,
I think that's very massive. It's a very massive point to understand that you need to educate yourself before you just. Now I do say it's better than not going to the gym and working out, but you
absolutely.
definitely need to educate yourself first.
Yeah, yeah,
A
well,
lot of things.
pushing yourself to failure, I mean, that is so key. A lot of people don't understand
Huge.
those muscle fibers are not going to grow until you break them down,
Nope.
and then you got to recover. And it's the same way about eating. I've got a 16-year, actually 17-year-old now, and I'm like, we need to eat this many calories. We're burning this many calories. We got to have fuel in our body. And it's the same way with pushing yourself in the gym. You have to do
Yes.
that from an eating standpoint too.
You
If
do.
you're a young
I
athlete,
say it's the exact same thing. You got to push yourself to failure
right,
when you're bulking, when you're cutting. Like you have
right.
to literally like make yourself uncomfortable, and that's how you're gonna level up.
Right. I have a lot of moms and dads will call me and they're like, "Well, little Johnny just not real hungry in the mornings." And I'm like, "If little Johnny wants to be an athlete, it's not a question if hehe's hungry.
Yeah,
It's like you have to put fuel in your body." "Well, he don't like to eat much." Well, it's not a question. If he wants to be a college ball
100%.
player, he has to put the fuel in his body. I mean, I don't know if you've ran into that with different clients you work with.
No, 1,000%. So last year I was like 170. I was not anywhere near where I'm at right now, but I had to literally force myself. I made sure every morning, every night, I would wake up, drink this mass gainer protein shake, and right before I go to bed, drink it right again. Even if I'm like borderline about to throw up, I make sure I do it. So then I am making sure that I am in a calorie surplus, and I'm making
Right.
sure that I'm also eating like 2 PB&Js right before I go to bed. Even though I don't want to, I know that it's needed for me to grow, and that's exactly what you have to do, especially
But
if
you
you're an athlete.
But you find though, Parker, like if I'm doing 85-pound dumbbells and I continuously do that, pushing myself to failure, then before long I'm going to go up to 90-pound dumbbells.
1,000%.
And that's the same way with putting the fuel in your body. If you're trying to continuously gain weight, if peanut butter and jelly sandwiches was putting you in a surplus and it's so hard to get that last bite down over a week or two, then you
Make it
can eat
easier.
three. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
Exactly.
that's how we progress. That's how we get better.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
Yes,
and a
sir.
lot of athletes don't understand that. What other part of being in a calorie surplus would you give to our audience that maybe don't understand that you're either in a deficit or in a surplus, and you are not going to put on muscle unless you're in a surplus? How else could you get that across to these young athletes listening?
Yeah, I mean, you really have to feed your muscles if you're going to grow. So, I mean, I go through these phases where I'm like, okay, so I want to I want to focus on these next couple months on growing my muscles in certain areas. So, what I'll do is, for example, like I wanted to grow my shoulders over these last couple months. So, I would eat in a calorie surplus and make sure I go to failure every single time on every shoulder set that I've done. And that's how my shoulders have grown a little bit. So you just have to be in a calorie surplus. You're not going to grow because I mean, you can be pushing yourself to failure. And if you're not in a calorie surplus, I mean, you'll tone up, but you're not going to grow your muscles. So,
Right.
I mean, eating's the number one priority by far. And you can't out work out a bad diet.
No.
It's just impossible.
No. Yep, you cannot. I mean, I see a lot of older men that I work with, Parker, and they want to still drink beer and eat pizza and go to the gym every once in a while. And I'm like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, it's
That
funny
that
because if you're a math guy, you look at it and if you like really like count the calories, you're just like, this one beer is worth like it's like 3 hours of cardio.
exactly.
So like you can't like correlate that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just it makes no sense at all. So that's why
Right.
you just got to focus on your diet first, and then everything's gonna
Yeah, and that's
go.
the reason I love nutrition and fitness so much, even at my age, is what you just talking about at the beginning of the confidence it gives you, and that goes into my next question. But the confidence that it gives you is because you know that you cannot buy a fit body. You cannot buy a fit body. I mean, we live in a society today that everyone wants to just go out and purchase something, purchase a new car to make them feel better, purchase a new bat thinking it's going to help our batting average, purchase new batting gloves, or purchase whatever it is, and you have to earn it. So I think that's why fitness and nutrition is so big for your mental mindset, is
I
because once you do what you said you was going to do, it creates an animal inside of you that nothing becomes impossible, that nothing is too big for you to complete. And so the mental mindset part, being a college athlete, we've talked about nutrition, we've talked about working out. What portion of that mental mindset do you think, or what role does that mental mindset play in order to being a college athlete and succeeding, not just in athletics but in life?
So I mean, I'm not gonna call out my teammates, but even my teammates in at Reinhardt. So even it's not just Reinhardt. In every college team or every high school team I've played for, and I was the exact same way. So I mean, I'm not shaming because I was the exact same way until this last year, and when I've locked in, and you just have to have a different discipline and a different mindset than the rest of the people. You can't share the same, or you're gonna be the same as them. So you have to actually go somewhere different in your mind, whether that's every time y'all go out to eat, you're making sure you're ordering something completely different because you know that food right there is not going to get you to your goals.
Right.
And I would have teammates make fun of me like every day, like, Parker's getting the lean chicken again, or he's going to Kroger and getting something when everybody else is eating pizza or something like that. And yeah, I mean, I don't shame them at all for eating that food. That's not what I was doing, but I just know my goals, and to reach my goals, that's exactly what I had to do. I had
Yep.
to eat foods that were different than what everybody else was eating because that's the only way I'm going to progress more, you know?
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing is you have to be a lone wolf. You
Right.
can't just follow the crowd, or you're just going to end up like them, and that's just below average or average. So
Yep. How important would you say, getting the right information in your brain plays as well from a mental mindset, the right books, the right motivation material, all those different things? Because, obviously the reason our connection is so strong, we have the same faith. Also, I'm a big baseball player as I mean, that's all I mean, I played other sports like you, but baseball has been my passion. I mean, obviously, and I talk to baseball players often that maybe are struggling at the plate. And I'm like, would you agree that mental mindset is 90, 95% of it over the physical side? And
are you
they'll
talking
say,
about in
yeah.
baseball?
yeah,
Oh, it's
and
by
they'll
far.
and yeah, but here's what's crazy, Parker. I'll ask them, "What are you doing to feed the mental mindset?" Because
No,
you can have the nutrition worked out, you can have the workouts dialed in, but if you are just on TikTok on your phone 24/7 and
it's not
entertaining the mind instead of educating the mind, you're not
yes,
going
sir.
to see the results.
100%. Yeah, so for baseball, it is absolutely crucial how important the mental side of the game is because it's such a massive sport of failure. You have to have this level of confidence that is honestly a higher confidence level rather than these other sports like football or basketball. Just because I mean that's just more about just grit or something like that, just skill level. With baseball, the skill level is so important, but the mental side of it is kind of giving you this access to kind of unlock your potential of your skills. And
Right.
you can be the most skilled baseball guy in the world, but if your mental side is not where it needs to be, you're not going to succeed in baseball because it's you have to deal with failure better than almost everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's why a lot of young people don't like baseball and they call it getting burned out, right?
Yep,
Is they quit the game is
exactly,
because they're mentally weak. They're not mentally strong enough to deal
exactly
with
right.
the failure. So I want you to share with us here in a few minutes about your workout program that you offer for young athletes. And here's the thing, Parker, you know this, we talked earlier. I do not have anyone come on my podcast that I promote heavily, but I promote you and your workout program and everything you're doing with young athletes. And I want you to tell us about that here in a few minutes. But I want to ask you, what is your favorite baseball player of all time, whether they are they're playing now or they're not? And then what is your favorite baseball player that's playing actively today?
So favorite baseball player of all time, and a lot of people in this generation, in the younger generations, he gets disrespected big time because he gets called overrated. But it's Derek Jeter by far. So
Okay.
Derek Jeter is by far my favorite player of all time. So I think that he gets overlooked because all these social media accounts are like kind of disregarding the success he brought to the Yankees and the leadership he brought to the Yankees because his defensive run saved is the most or the least in history. And they'll discredit him for that. When in reality, I mean, if you go look at the leadership qualities he went literally 0 seasons without over a 500 record with the Yankees.
Yeah.
And what he was able to do for the Yankees, which I mean, during that era was the 90s and even his last World Series he won with in the '09 Yankees. It was just ridiculous what he was able to provide year in and year out for the Yankees. And offensively, I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it. So, yeah, that's my favorite all time currently.
Before you go
Yeah,
to the next one currently, one of the things that I love about Derek Jeter is you said it is leadership. The
yeah,
man was a leader. And another thing is too, he was an underdog, man. I mean, they didn't think he was big enough, they didn't think he was good enough, and he didn't care what they think. And I see that a lot with young athletes. You and I hear the stories often of the ones that did not get recruited right out of high school, and they think it's what go play JUCO ball. But if you believe
yep,
in yourself, do what you have to do to get on the field. And that's what I love about Jeter is he was kind of overlooked. Yes, he was talented. Yes, he had some attention, but no one probably ever expected him to be a Hall of Fame ball player.
not at all.
Yeah. All
And
right.
it was because of the
Who's
consistency. All
who's
right,
your current one?
current. So it's going back to Yankees. I'm a diehard. So now, when it comes to leadership qualities, I would have to say a Judge, but overall, I got to go Juan Soto. I just love the way he plays. I mean, his when he's in the box, he just has like this level of respect that he gains that I don't think nobody else brings to the table. His discipline in the box is just ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
crazy. People
Yeah.
people underestimate that. They'll look at home runs, they'll look at all these things, and then I mean Juan Soto gets on base almost 500% of the time, and it's great,
Yeah.
almost 50% of the time. It's ridiculous.
He is incredible. He
He's
is
awesome.
incredible. I just had to ask. That wasn't part of the program, so sorry to throw you that, but I
No,
had to
no, no
know.
worries.
I mean, I'm a big baseball fan, and we could talk about it all day long. The
Yeah,
different athletes. Probably one of my favorites of all time, and he's kind of criticized a little bit, but I'm talking about just someone at the plate is probably Pete Rose. The man got some hits. I mean, I hate it that he made those choices that he made from
Yep.
a character standpoint, and I'm not endorsing that by no means. But Chipper Jones as well. I mean, they're Tony Gwynn.
Gritty
I've saw
guys
him a
head
lot
down to
on
the
your
plate. Yep.
man. I mean, just amazing when you look at his stats based on facing some of the best pitchers of all time, and I mean that's pretty incredible.
About
All
Tony
right,
Gwynn or Pete Rose?
Tony Gwynn.
Tony
Yeah,
Gwynn. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
It's
It's
insane.
it's just, but again, that goes back to a mindset, right? Because a lot of people probably more physically talented than Tony Gwynn, but he
100%.
stepped into the plate and was like, "I'm going to beat this pitcher every time." And I
So
mean,
I
that's
wanted to say something about this. So it actually connects very well. So I think for all these young baseball players, visualization is so key. You have to visualize the success. And
yeah,
when I started visualizing my success in anything I do, not even just on the field, everything started just dramatically increasing. There's a funny story. I don't know if you've heard of this, but Tony Gwynn, like, there was this doubleheader they were playing, and one got rained out. He was up to bat, and he said something that he told a teammate. He said, "I'm gonna." There was a runner on first base. He's like, "Listen, man, I'm gonna hit a double down the left field line. He's gonna throw me a slider, and you're gonna score." Right when we come back the next day. In the first pitch, the guy threw him a slider. He hit a double down the left field line, and the dude scored. It's
yep,
all about visualizing. It's so
right.
important. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's visualizing not only at the field, like what you said, but in life. You know, one of the first things that I ask someone I'm working with on physical, on nutrition, is how do you visually see your body? You know, what are we trying to accomplish here? Because if you don't have a vision of what you want to accomplish, and it's the same way of business, anything, then you're just going to be walking around not having a clue of the direction you're headed. So I big time believe in visualization as well.
Yes,
Now
sir.
I've got to ask you, I know you've got a 6 week training program that you offer on at Parker Doyle 25 on your Instagram page. Tell us a little bit about your 6 week program and how passionate you are about working with young athletes.
Yes, sir. So I started it about a month or two ago, and we've got a lot of guys on board already. It's looking really good. So the 6 week program is my routine of my workout plan. It's my diet plan, and then I have a lot of cardio recommendations as well. So it's not specifically designed for baseball players, but if you're a baseball player, I'm telling you, you would want to be in my 6 week program, because what you're going to do is you're going to level up your body, which you're going to get bigger, faster, stronger, especially all these young guys that are like 16 and below. You're going to set yourself apart from the rest of the competition if you get your body right first. I wish I did that at a young age, because I would have separated myself, but I unfortunately didn't. I just relied on my IQ and relied on other things that I did just from being around the game. But if I really locked in my body, it would have set me apart from all my competition. So yeah, I mean, it's a $25 and you get full in-app access to the app Solon, which has now been partnering with a ton of top creators and a top fitness influencers. So it's just a really cool thing, man. It's awesome.
So for $25, I can get this program for 6 weeks, and you're going to tell me what I need to eat, my workouts, and everything.
Exactly. And you're going to level up like insanely quick. It's crazy.
That's awesome, Parker. I love that you're doing that. And young athletes, if you're listening, take advantage of that program. Not only you have a college athlete that's going to teach you, but you're also going to understand what it takes to go to that next level. I mean, that's very big. What else would you have to say to encourage these young athletes maybe to go play college ball? And what do you think that did for you as an individual, getting you prepared for the real world?
I wouldn't recommend any other sport on the planet other than baseball. It really sets you up, especially in today's world. Everybody sucks at dealing with failure.
Yep.
So baseball is going to give you that failure day in and day out. I mean, you can't avoid it. Even the Hall of Famers, I mean, like they said, it's 7 out of 10 times you're going to fail, even the greats. So I definitely recommend playing baseball through college as well. I mean, college is a different breed.
Yes.
I mean, I was prepared for it, but the amount of time management you have to be successful in just everything is ridiculous. And that's honestly a main reason why I'm going into what I'm doing now. And I would love to play my last year of college baseball, but it's really it's really time consuming, but I know like I had a passion for it. And I know the first 2 to 3 years that I played college baseball, you have to, if you don't love it, you're just might as well not do it, because if you're not committed day in and day out to the grind, you're going to get passed up.
Yep.
And it's just something that is going to treat you well no matter what the rest of your life, because you're going to understand discipline, consistency, dealing with failure, all the above.
Yeah, and that's why I'm real big on my young athletes that want to play college ball, of learning this nutrition side, time management, sleep, workouts, because a lot of these kids that are maybe real talented, they get to college and they don't understand it becomes a full-time job.
It
You
really
you
is.
start off in the gym, you start off eating, you start off and then you go to the gym, then you do your studies, then you go
On the
back
field
to the
6 hours
gym,
a
then
day.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you already have mastered the nutrition part, the sleep, the time management, the
Oh
workouts, when
my
you
gosh,
get to
you're going to be
college,
miles
you're
ahead of everyone.
exactly,
Miles
exactly.
ahead.
And that's what I try to promote big time. So these younger athletes.
That's
Well,
perfect.
anything else that you want to add? It's been an honor and a privilege having you on at the Hard Truth podcast. But share with us again how these different people in the audience can find you and to be a part of your 6 week program. And definitely they need to follow your pages. So share with us again your Instagram
So,
pages and how they can get in contact with you.
so my Instagrams are Baflip Bombs. That's BATFLIPBOMBZ. And that's the baseball page. And then my main account, you can also message me there, is Parker Doyle 25. So I have a couple other offers as well. If you guys want a personalized workout and diet plan, I can customize that for anybody. Just direct message me. I can do that. And then the other thing is I can do one-on-one mentoring calls. So if you guys want mentoring on anything, diet, workouts, just anything, just direct message me and I got you.
Awesome. Well, guys, take advantage of that with Parker Doyle. Parker, it's been a privilege having you on the Hard Truth
Yeah, man.
podcast today. And I don't know about having a Yankees fan on, but tell us again why you're a Yankees fan for the audience.
Yes, sir. So my granddad won a World Series with the Yankees in 1978. So I was kind of born into being a diehard Yankee fan. So
You had no choice then. You
yeah,
had to be a Yankees fan.
got to.
Well, congratulations to you and everything that you have accomplished already at a young age, Parker. And I love the fact that you are out helping other young athletes and people dial in their nutrition, their workouts, the mental mindset side. Keep drinking the Core Vive Hydrate and the
Sir.
protein shakes, and we'll keep your products coming to Georgia. And guys, I encourage all of you. This is Jeremy Fouts again for the Hard Truth podcast. Share this with your friends and family. I know every one of you have a young athlete that maybe is looking to take their fitness, their nutrition, everything that they need to the next level to play the game at a competitive state. Guys, share this podcast with your audience of people, the Hard Truth podcast with Parker Doyle. So Parker, thank you for being on with us today. Go to the Spotify, Apple, wherever you are, subscribe to the podcast, YouTube channel as well, subscribe, and you'll look and see how Jack Parker Doyle is. And I promise you're going to want him training your young athletes. So
Not
thank you,
anywhere where I'm
Parker.
gonna be, but I appreciate it.
Dude, what'd you say?
I said I'm not anywhere close to where I'm gonna be, but I appreciate it.
That's what's part of life, man. It's
Yes, sir.
always getting better every day. I tell
Exactly.
everyone, I mean, if any of us come to a point of complacency and we're happy, then that's when you need to get wary for sure. So it's all about pushing yourself on a daily basis. Absolutely. Be the best you can be. That's the way life is designed. So thank you guys for joining the Hard Truth podcast. Tune in for the next episode, and good day and God bless.
Let's go.